just send it to them if they want to use it. If you guys want to be able to plug that stuff in on games where I'm working, I'll make sure that it sounds better and shit, and I'll just send it to you here.
Yeah, I think it's good content.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll just make like a thing for it, so when they're talking, it's not just us staring at people.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was just totally a weird thing.
Yeah, we're like, we'll try it. Let's see what happens.
And it didn't even play.
It was just really quiet.
Yeah, I'll fuck with it and start doing that.
DNVR Avalanche pregame show as we're coming in. Y'all might find this hard to believe. I certainly did. This is the first time the Avs have played Dallas, at least in a game that counts, since the bubble.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I was thinking about that today. I didn't realize it had been... Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, because all of last year, Dallas wasn't in the Western Division. Right. So, and then it was the Blues in the first round.
So, wait, that was... last time we played them was Game 7?
Game 7.
OT? Oh, brutal.
It's wild.
Goddamn Yoel Kiviranta.
Yeah. Don't even speak that name around here, I don't think, anymore. But the Avs are back in Dallas.
We can't hear your audio.
Well, they could hear us during the intro, apparently, which is fine. Oh. We didn't say anything too bad, so we're good on this one. All right, so Avs...
Now they know that we're wanting to do more stuff with post-game audio.
Now expectations are there. Oops. Avs in Dallas, same lineup, essentially. Byram not expected to play tonight, but is very close to getting cleared, it sounds like. So maybe Nashville's a chance for him.
Yeah. You wouldn't see them slotting him in on a back-to-back, right? It's like, hey, welcome back.
Yeah, I could see them doing it on the second half of back-to-back, fresh body. But yeah, no, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Hey, I know you've been trying to take it easy, light workouts, 2 games in a row.
By the way, you're paired with Cale. You're about to play 50 minutes in the next 48 hours. Just get out there, kid. So look, right now, there's hard to pick out a whole lot of negatives for the Avs. They're on a 6-game winning streak, but they're bringing it on to... Look, Dallas isn't a great hockey team by any stretch of the imagination this year, but they are over 500. They're not nothing.
And dude, I just feel like these games against the Stars are always so weird.
Yeah.
Even games that the Avs win, they're weird games. Again, you go back to the bubble, and Anton Hudobin, from what you remember that series, you're like, whoa, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you go back and look at the numbers, and he was a sub 900 goalie for those 7 games. Like, it's just weird stuff happens. Again, I make the joke about Yoel Kiviranta. Dude gets in the lineup for the first time in like 2 months, and he scores a hat trick in Game 7, including the overtime winner. That's just the type of stuff that happens in these games, and Avs Stars are just always off the walls.
Yeah,
There's
this
stuff. Yeah.
This Dallas team is like that team that's right on the edge there, right? Like they still could go either way right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the last game they played was against the Oilers. Is that correct? Where they beat the Oilers,
smoked them pretty good. Yeah,
they played pretty well against them, but also they've lost some other games where you thought that they would win. So it's like, what team's going to show up tonight?
Well, they've got a dozen goalies in their rotation at this point.
They got three.
They got Holtby, Ottinger, and Hudobin, and then if Ben Bishop ever gets healthy again, I don't know. They're a weirdly constructed team. To me, they're kind of. They're becoming like the new Minnesota Wild, where they're right in the middle.
They got aging stars.
They in that playoff bubble, they kind of went, on a weird run to the finals. But even when you watch that final, they never had a shot against Tampa. The magic kind of ran out. And I thought that was what was on our show. I was like, I don't know what we're doing now. But they got aging stars. Tyler Sagan's back healthy. They're not bad enough to be picking really high. Outside of that run to the finals, which actually all it did was kind of hurt where they drafted.
I mean, they're in a weird spot as a team, right? They're committed to some of those older players. They can't really, if things go sideways for them, they can't really tank. because they have at least another year on a bunch of these guys. I guess Radulov's contract is up at the end of the year. But
Is it really?
Yeah. So
Well, there you go.
that's a whole other conversation we won't get into on the pregame, but they are kind of very much stuck in the middle, I think, as a team, and it's a weird spot to be in because the Central Division this year is kind of bad.
Dude, it's been the powerhouse of the league for how many years now?
Yep.
And then I was, accelerated, I guess, or maybe not accelerated, but once the Avs kind of took that big step, suddenly it was like, whoa, you have all these juggernauts. And now it's just kind of like,
You have Minnesota, who you're still not 100% sure is for real
Dude,
at the top.
I don't know. After today, that game, it was like 5-0 the last time I checked. So.
yeah, 7-1 was the last that I saw. But even that, like, they're playing a Jets team that, again, it's like, what are you?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know, dude. And eventually they're just gonna, prove me wrong. But I am not in on this Wild team at all. When you go watch those games, they're just. I think today was the first game that they've won where they've won by any like significant margin. I don't know. I just think that I don't think they're super for real, but they're winning games. You've got the Blackhawks, who are terrible, the Predators, who are kind of like the Stars, where they're in the middle. They've clung on to a bunch of second tier guys that they're trying to force up the lineup. It's an interesting division this year for sure.
I mean, to put it simply, if the Avs beat Dallas tonight, they have 3 games in hand on everyone in front of them, and they're tied for second place in the division.
Yeah, and that would probably put them in first from a points percentage standpoint, if I had to guess.
I think they're still behind Minnesota, even if they win tonight.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
It'd be
It's
close.
pretty close, though.
Yeah, they could definitely catch them with their games in hand fairly easily, put it that way.
I mean, Minnesota has been hot. I know, we talk about it. Like, they don't look like a team that's going to make a deep playoff run whatsoever.
Right.
But they are playing good hockey at the beginning of the year, and that, that puts them up in the standings. But
Goes a long way.
You're going to probably watch them go down a little bit.
Yeah, I just I always felt like that team last year really benefited from.
We'll do our best to keep it clean. Sorry, Kayla's parents.
Oops. Sorry about that. And that made me lose my train of thought. Gosh darn it, that made me lose my train of thought. Oh, but I just thought the Wild last year benefited from a schedule that you will hopefully never see again, or you just got to play the same teams over and over.
Same way
and
the Avs
over
kind
and
of did.
Oh, for sure. And it was just one of those things where I think you saw it with a couple different teams last year, where maybe lesser teams got to feast a little bit. And I didn't think they'd come out of the gates very strong this year, and they have, so I'm wrong, but we're not playing the Wild tonight.
Playing the other green team in the center.
Yeah.
The other team from Minnesota.
True. Technically true.
But I guess it just kind of all ties together in that these games are really fun because we don't really know what to expect out of Dallas. Yeah, we all, I think, watch a fair amount of hockey and you try to see other teams, other games. But like, this is our first look at the Stars in 2 years.
And sure, I mean, like, if you look at their game plans, right, like, they just came off a game where they played a high power offense and shut them down. So they have a game plan for high scoring teams. Are the Avs a high scoring team?
I wonder.
We're gonna say the same things again beforehand about how this
When's
is gonna
the
be a
last
low
time
scoring
they had
game.
Feels like 2-1, 7-3. Okay, well.
Well, and yeah, I mean the best part to me about all this is like they're scoring goals in just globs right now. But that Ducks game, like, they're playing the right way. They controlled that game for almost the entire 60 minutes. They had to fight through a little bit in the first period, but for the most part, I mean, they did. They look unstoppable right now. And honestly, if you're getting that type of, if they're playing to their identity and they're following their process the way that we've seen them for the last 6 games, even with these super goofy games against the Stars, they're going to put themselves in a really good position to win. I think Kemper's going to have a bounce back game tonight.
As long as his skates work.
Yeah. That was what one of my topics was going to be for tonight was Darcy Kemper's skates.
Is there odds on that?
Yeah.
Right now.
So just to kind of fill everyone in, so he wears true skates, true brand skates.
Yep.
I don't know what brand runner he uses, but I guess he's had a couple faulty runners where the quick release.
Yeah, because he had to go down the tunnel and stuff too.
Yeah.
It's not like they just snapped out.
Well, what Bednar said was the first game that it happened, he went back to the locker room and they actually pulled the runner off completely and re-riveted a new one. That was why he had to leave. Like, okay, cool, problem solved. It was the same brand as the original. And then obviously it happened twice yesterday. So now he's switched brands ahead of tonight's game. So, Bednar was kind of laughing after the game saying, if that doesn't fix it, we don't really know what to do next.
And new skates.
Yeah. So he should be good to go for tonight because they've completely switched brands, brand new runners, holders, all that stuff. So he should be good to play. He shouldn't be forced to leave the net tonight because of equipment.
AJ is in Dallas, but he's also working the game. Just so we're clear here, he'll be live tweeting from the arena.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, no. So it's going to be interesting. It's good to get a look at another Central Division team, division rival that you haven't seen in a couple years.
It's been a minute. This winning streak has, and even the first 2 games of November were against Columbus. So the last game the Avs played against the Central Division was St. Louis a while ago. It's been a little bit weird getting used to the Avs playing teams outside their division.
Yeah, seriously. Because, and then even to start, you had the bubble, and then you had last year, and then preseason was almost exclusively the same teams that they had played last year. And I feel like even the beginning of their schedule, it was a lot of repeats, a lot of the same teams from last year. That's great. Put that one from Kayla up on the screen. Yeah, here. That's amazing. It's fun to see him play against some division rivals that you haven't seen in 2 years somehow.
How do we feel about that tag? The NHL uses the words division rivals real loosely.
Yeah. I really do. I think for the most part, sports is just everyone's a rival now.
Yeah.
Division rival, conference rival.
Just defining that you're playing somebody inside.
Yeah.
It's not what it used to mean anymore.
All right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you though, because growing up and watching the Avs in the 90s, early 2000s when rivalries were a thing, I feel like there's not even really a lot of them anymore. You just don't see them the same way that you used to.
Yeah.
Avs or otherwise.
Yeah, I think definitely fairly true. It's been a long time since you've had 2 really great teams in the league at the same time, it feels like.
Yeah.
Well, and then and then the NHL changed their playoff format to try to encourage rivalries.
Yeah.
And you just end up pitting the two teams that are the best team in the league. Yeah. Play in the second round for absolutely nothing. What I honestly really enjoyed about last year was that you ended up with 2 Eastern Conference teams in the finals. Part of the reason why I've always thought they should go back to, or not go back to, but they should go to 1 through 16 makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
Don't do it by division. Don't do it by conference. You can have it split up for travel and schedule purposes, but just do 1 through 16 because how fun would it be to have an Avs Wild Stanley Cup final?
Sure.
A team that you play 5 times a year, you get to play for the Stanley Cup. I always thought that would be a ton of fun.
I've always been a fan of let the 1 seed pick who they want to play.
Yeah.
School pickup games.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
See, I've heard a lot of people very much in favor of that, just because imagine being a team that was picked we want to play them. It would definitely create a little bit more
a little anger there.
Yeah.
We picked wrong.
Yeah.
We picked the wrong team.
But I just thought it'd be fun for to see it 1 against 16, because how crazy would that be when eventually a 16 seed knocks off a President's Trophy winner? And again, you end up
in the first year knowing that.
yeah. And then you end up with seeds 1 and 2 in the NHL playing for the Stanley Cup, and they might be 2 division rivals. Like, how much fun would it have been to see Crosby and Ovechkin play for a Stanley Cup a few years ago?
I've heard them talk about that a lot in the NBA. Like, it goes back and forth. I haven't really heard much from the NHL side of wanting to do something along those lines, but it would be awesome.
Well, and what sucks is Gary Bettman has openly said, he's like, nope, we think we have the best playoff format in sports. It's like, you don't. I'll tell you this right now, you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's fun to be seeing everything kind of renormalizing after, honestly, 2 years, because it paused in March. So I mean, almost 2 full years of the schedule just being completely out of whack. It's fun to start getting it back to normal.
Yeah, getting it a little bit back to normal is kind of a good way to put it, I think. So excited for not just tonight, but they have Nashville tomorrow and a lot more Central Division games that are going to be important ones on the horizon. So looking forward to that. But we do got to keep things rolling here. I'm going to ask this to both of you. Yes, obviously Kadri and Makar are doing the heavy lifting for the Avs right now. But how important is Alex Newhook to this team, Blais?
Moving forward, I think he's a big piece to this team. You're expecting a lot from him, right? If you're looking at his ceiling right now. Obviously, he's on the third line right now. We call it the third line.
Yep.
And he's producing. But, I mean, and he's producing at a good clip for, coming back. So you're hoping to see a little bit more from him, or just at least kind of keep on this pace during the season. Now, if he does that, does he get a chance to move up in the lineup?
I would hope so. He's got 5 points in 7 games. If he keeps this pace, this dude's scored 50 points this year, which is ridiculous for the Avs. But
yeah, I see. And what's crazy is I don't think he'll move up. What I really do think Jared Bednar is eyeing is we get Nathan McKinnon back, and then you get a Newhook Jost LOC line. And suddenly you've got a top 9 that you feel really, really good about.
You got a 2A and 2B.
Yeah, seriously, honestly, like you really do. And I think that is what they're hoping for out of him for the rest of this year. Obviously, if you get 50 points out of him, you're elated, you're over the moon. But if you can get him to turn in a 30-point season, 35.
Yeah, you take that.
Right, playing
I'm going 50, man.
Yeah.
You watch his skill set, and it's
for sure.
He's there.
Oh, yes, let's get some echo in
here. I mean, anywhere between 30 to 40, and I think you are extremely happy with that, because that means he's producing next to Alex Newhook, Tyson Jost. So, they're starting to, that would mean they're starting to produce a little bit more. And suddenly now you've just got that fourth line that's like, yeah, if we get anything out of them, bonus points.
Yep.
But if you can feel really good about your top 9, and suddenly after all the injuries and everything, you're now looking at obviously the big line, then Nichushkin, Burakovsky, Kadri that you really like if they get humming.
Another big line.
Another big line, yeah. And then you've got Newhook, Jost, LOC, and suddenly that depth is back where, we haven't really gotten the opportunity to see a ton of it this year because of the injuries, and you've got guys kind of playing up all over the lineup. Now suddenly that's honestly what I think was a difference in that Ducks game the other night. I thought the Ducks were playing really well. I thought they're skating hard. They stick to their identity, and it was Alex Newhook who was the one that was he broke the tie, and it got the Avs going. Suddenly you have depth guys contributing that are high skill, that have that ability to do that. And suddenly you feel better about the fact that you're definitely going to lose one of those second line guys in free agency, saying, cool, this is a guy that's been performing on our third line. He's putting up points. We feel comfortable that we can slot him right up the lineup, and he's going to do great. So I think right now it's just, hey, keep doing this. And I think they're thrilled with it. And he's another one. It's just like the rest of the team. It's not just the points right now. His process is phenomenal. I kind of isolated my focus on him for a couple shifts in the Ducks game. Dude, his legs are just moving right now. Yeah. He's moving his feet. He's quick on pucks. He even when he's 20 feet out of the play, he's chugging to get back in. And that's what you want to see from him is I understand that I have to work a little bit harder to get this done. And he's doing it right now. It's huge.
Yep.
So for this year, it's a matchup nightmare for other teams.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, when Kadri gets 4 by 11 million, the way that he's playing, but you can slot into that second line. All right, cool.
So think about it. If you're any opposing coach right now, right?
Yeah.
Dallas Aikens in that last game, you feel good. You feel like you're in it. It's 1-1. Well, I guess let's use the example of them being on the road, right? And that third line for the Avs rolls over the board. Okay, well, you match with your third line, and then Cale, Makar, and Devon Taves jump out there, and it's like, well, they got Alex Newhook, Cale, Makar, and Devon Taves out there. They have the 3 best players on the ice. Yeah. It's a matchup nightmare. That the Avs D is the X factor, but then when you can roll guys with Alex Newhook's skill set on the third line.
Yeah.
Why not enjoy the ride?
Right.
All right. Let's get into our bets for the night.
I'd actually love a Newhook Jost Nichushkin line.
Yeah, you could get fun there. You got to find something to fit in the top 6. But
OC, baby.
Easy one for me tonight. Avs are plus 125 to win in reg.
Ooh, there you go.
So I just went ahead and took that.
Dude, Cale Makar, 2.5 shots.
Feel pretty good right now on that one with Cale.
Free money. He had 3 in the first period last game. I cashed that immediately.
And the game before, we were talking about that too. It was like
9.
After the second period, he had 7 shots on net. So that's free money.
It's and what's crazy about it is like they have Mikko's line at 2.5 for shots, but it's like minus 190. Seriously, I got Cale Makar over 2.5 shots at minus 105. It's basically even money. Like I
parlay that with a Avs win.
With anything.
Yeah.
With anything.
It's interesting how good some of the lines you can find in the NHL on DraftKings right
Any
now.
first goal scorers from you two over there?
I've got Landy.
That's a good one.
I'm on cooldown for that one. I think I don't think I'm going to hit another one of those.
I went with Jost.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Dude, he's been putting in a lot of extra work. He's staying out on the ice with Shauna Laird, their skills coach, for 20, 30 minutes after every practice right now.
Yeah.
He's putting in the work. So I really like that one.
I lie. I didn't put Jost. I put Kadri. I'm sorry. I put Jost.
All right, well, never mind. I don't like your pick then.
No, but I did record
No, I do like that pick.
Jost with I think assists. It was 0.5 and it was like plus 190 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, some of those 0.5 assist lines are hard to pass up.
I would tell you exactly what it is, but I have no internet back here.
Slacker.
I got two little Wi-Fi bars. Yeah. I've also got Kadri and Burakovsky with at least 1 assist.
Yeah.
I did also take Mikko as an anytime goal scorer.
Yeah, it's probably
pretty. That's like he's
due,
bets.
right?
Yeah, he's due for one.
I was telling my buddy, you just said it. I can't believe some of the lines on some of those.
Yeah.
They'll give you like plus 150s, plus 160s for a guy to score a point.
They were giving odds for Kadri to be over 1 point. It's like this guy's on a 10-game point streak, and he's positive money for over half a point. Yeah. It's crazy.
Take it while it's hot. That's all we can say.
And I guess they're just sitting there like, oh well, it'll end eventually. Yeah. Well, he'll stop scoring eventually. And he's just full YOLO.
Well, and you got to ride the hot hand, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Walking away? Throwing the chips down? Like, what are you doing here?
What are you doing? Cashing out responsibly and taking your winnings?
No. You got to stay there.
Always double down.
Yeah. Let it ride always.
Always.
I actually, all jokes aside, like the money that I'm currently on right now, it started as $20 and I've had it up over $270 now for the last week.
Yep.
And I'm like, why not?
Just see what I do is I take my bets and then as I win money, then I do the futures and awards.
Okay, yeah.
I start taking those,
Nice.
Like
there you go.
Just bank that stuff for later.
By the end of the season, you're all
except for like last year, I was telling you guys I was winning a bunch of money and then I was just putting it into Avs winning the cup. I'm like, I'm going to make so much money on this.
Yeah, Blais cashes out 43 different bets on one futures.
Yeah. Grubauer in Seattle or our Grubauer in Seattle.
Hey,
I don't know what to say about it.
I've got the over in that game as part of a parlay, so keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Feeling good so far.
Good for Grubauer though. He's had 2 really good games in a row.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. You got to start with having
Skate
one
blades
good game.
stayed in their
Yeah.
You know, everything's going good up there.
I mean, Grubauer, again, one good game was a huge win for him.
Yeah.
Because that's one more than he's had all season.
True enough. We'll see how things start to settle in if he finds his groove there or not. Jury's still out.
I just don't think that team is good enough. I think he can steal. He's stolen 2 games in a row for them, and I just don't know how long he can do that.
I don't think the team is good, but maybe Grubauer doesn't suck at least.
Right. And I feel a little like vindicated because I saw them draft that team, no clue what they were doing.
Yep.
And there was a bunch of analytics people like, oh, well, no, they drafted a really defensively like savvy team. And it's like,
well, it like went down the list. Like they came in like, oh, Seattle's going to get so much value out of this draft. They make almost no trades. It's like, oh, just wait for the trades.
Right.
Trades never come.
Yeah. and the part that just blew my mind was I wasn't saying they needed to like go all in full YOLO mode, but why would you leave Jacob Voracek there?
Yeah, some of the dudes they chose to draft.
Leave everything else exactly how you did it and add Jacob Voracek and you're twice as good as you are. I just there were so many moves that they made. It's like you didn't want to do that. They left Jacob Voracek and then took Jonas Donskoy, who famously goes 20 games in between points.
Yeah, his lack of goal scoring is like the least surprising thing
Yeah.
on the whole team for us.
Right,
Like,
yeah. Let's say he's a super streaky player. He was super streaky even with this Avs group that he got PP one time with. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna go. The best center you have to put him with is Yanni Gord. Yikes!
All right, we're getting close to puck drop here, so we're going to wrap this up. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. Hope y'all enjoy the game. You know you can find all 3 of us on the post-game afterward, whatever happens. So we hope to see you there. And, until then, we'll talk to you after the game.